what's mad is, I don't know. I'm sorry, just like taking over the show here.
Take over.
You know what's crazy is like I feel like it's pretty weird because people won't understand this because people just like one draw in 15 games or whatever. You're having a paddy. I'm not having a paddy. I'm just stressed because like you can't afford to lose. But if we win tonight and beat Bournemouth at the weekend, we go 4 points ahead of Arsenal. They play Newcastle. Do you know what I mean? Now I expect Arsenal to beat Newcastle, but like Newcastle could beat Arsenal, and then all of a sudden Arsenal are 4 points behind City, and it's just like things just change so quick. Do you know what I mean? And like and people don't understand points in this Premier League at the moment are just arse because if you go back like 15 years ago when people used to win the Prem on like 79 points, 78 points, or whatever it was, like that would be all right. Now teams are getting to 90 points. Draws are not good. Like, I still don't think that people fully understand that like draws are really, really bad in this league. If you remember Liverpool, for example, we won the league twice over them. They lost less games than Manchester City. One of the years they lost one game. They lost a single game.
Man United are still in the hunt potentially for a Champions League place. We've lost 9 games, but we've only drawn 2. So we've won 14. And it's sometimes you're never better off losing than you are drawing. But we're turning more of our potential draws into wins. We've had a lot of the games where we've won it late on. So, yeah, I agree. And I think now, I think about the points totals recently. And I just think it's down to deeper squads. I think squads are much deeper and thicker now than they used to be. So you still win when you rotate, as an example. But it does make it so that dropping, every single week, every single game is so, so important. And I think you guys dropping points to Chelsea as well. Nobody expected that. Everybody was expecting... Well, I didn't. I predicted a draw, to be fair. I predicted 2-2, but a lot of people were expecting... Wow. Yeah, do you know what it was? By the time we got round to Friday, there hadn't been a single person on the terrace, other than Rory, Talks Football. He actually predicted not just the result, but the way the game would go to a T. Barring Rory, every single pundit, every single person who came on the channel, everyone in the comments, everybody said City without a shadow of a doubt, and they didn't even say City win. It was City are going to batter them.
I did. I thought City just brush them aside, personally.
We should have done. Before the game, I said we should be battering this team, to be honest with you. But, a win's a win at the moment. And obviously now as well, our goal difference is not as good as it needs to be. And that could be a thing come the end of the season because it's close. So, yeah, listen, anyway, stressed B is what I am right now. Pretty stressed. We got to win tonight. Every game's a must win. That's the Premier League, isn't it?
I asked you, LB, quickly, right, on Jeremy Doku. Is he starting to be a bit of a like St. Maximan type player who just turns in and out of players, no output?
The agenda.
What's going on there? Like, real talk. I like him, but I'm looking at him thinking you've got to start delivering. Like, I don't quite know.
He's delivering. People just don't put the ball in the back of the net, man. Some of my players in my team are not making the right runs. No, none of my players, Kevin De Bruyne, Foden, Hart, none of them are making near post runs. I shared it. Someone put a tweet out this morning, like a compilation of Doku. All the chances he's created this season. I retweeted it, Go and check that out later, Dan. It's mad how many chances this guy creates that people don't. Yeah, exactly. Like, he creates chances. People just don't put the ball in the back of the net. Yeah, like, what's not his fault. Now, people will go, oh, is his end product great? It's just okay. It's what it is. He does a lot. He's also only just come to the Premier League. And I think most people accept now with our wingers, it takes most of our wingers, most of our players, at least a year to get into it under Pep Guardiola. But this agenda thing on Doku is ridiculous.
Yeah, because I haven't got an agenda against Doku. I actually really like him, and I think he's a good player. But I started to look at it, and someone said it the other day, and I thought, the performances I've seen of late, where he's actually kind of been on the ball, etc. It looks so good, man. It causes havoc. It's like silky. It's skillful. It's like this player's a baller. But I'm like, when's he last scored? When's he last assisted? I don't know. Maybe he has in the last couple of games. I don't know. I've not checked it, to be fair. Because I didn't really look into LB, because to be fair, a bit like you, I thought brush it aside. I thought they're just trying to cause some problems here because you dropped a couple of points. But maybe, I don't know. When was the last time he scored a goal? When was
in the Premier League, the last time he scored and assisted, it's crazy actually. It was in the game against Bournemouth where he got the 4 assists in one game and a goal.
When was that?
That was on the 4th of November.
Bloody hell.
Champions League, he scored and assisted. That was on the 4th of October, and he got a goal in the FA Cup against Huddersfield. So I think the skills there with Doku, the abilities there with Doku, the end product hasn't quite been there in terms of people converting, but he has created clear-cut chance. This is where I will defend him in the same way that I've defended players like Bruno Fernandes at Man United. Sometimes the stats as in assists are not there, but the chances have been. You can't blame him for like City players missing either gilt-edged chances or the ball going into the right place, but a player not making the run. End of the day, if a winger or a wide player puts the ball into that corridor of uncertainty and nobody's made the run, it's not, I don't care about the stat that he gave away possession. He played the right ball. Someone didn't make the right run. And you can tell that because if you watch the cameras on the management, the manager is never screaming at the winger for crossing the ball. He's screaming at the players for not making the run. So I think he's a good player, to be fair. But obviously he was up against Gusto this week. Gusto really did well against him, I thought, as well. I thought Gusto had I thought Chelsea had a really good game up until the last 20 minutes, where I thought that Poch made a ridiculous decision to take off all these outlets and bring on all those defenders. And I just didn't see City. Honestly, I didn't see City scoring. I did not see City scoring for love nor money. But as we've seen in multiple games of City recently, you're kind of susceptible to those counterattacks. You've become a little bit like Liverpool.
Yeah, but I think we've always been kind of susceptible to and vulnerable to counter-attacks over the years. But yeah, I mean, listen, against Chelsea, we could have won it. Haaland had the chances, but let's also get it right. We could have lost it because Sterling went through on goal and passed the ball to Edison, thankfully. And, Jackson went through and just again, Edison actually done some good goalkeeping on that one. So it was a bit of a weird game. Yeah, it was a bit of a weird game. Chelsea started really well. They're probably the better team in the first half. And then, City obviously got the goal. I don't know what Poch was thinking with his, on another day, we could have got a second or, maybe a pen or whatever. And everyone would be questioning what the hell was Pochettino doing with those tactics? Because I don't know what he was thinking. But yeah, listen, it's not ideal because it means, for me, I think we have to beat Liverpool now at Anfield.
Ooh.
And that is difficult. That is seriously difficult. It also means we've got to beat Arsenal at home. You've got no insurance policy now. And people will be like, oh, we'll easily do that. Well, we've won one game against the top six this season. I think we'll beat Arsenal at home, yes. But I can't come here with chest and say we 100% will because we've won one game against the top six. And by the way, that was Manchester United. So it's just frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, Villa, like, if you even just look at this year's current top six as well, Spurs got that draw with you. Villa absolutely dominated you at Villa Park, of course. Liverpool took points off. Yeah, Jesus, you haven't. It's been poor, really. You've been.
The thing is, though, in those games, and this isn't really this isn't good because at the end of the day, the result that is the only thing that matters. Apart from the Aston Villa game, we was pretty good in most of them football matches. Yeah, we didn't really deserve to lose against Arsenal. Maybe we didn't deserve to win it, but we didn't deserve to lose. Against Liverpool, we were by far the better team. We're the better team against Spurs. But at the end of the day, we're not winning football matches in these big games for whatever reason. Whether it's our defence being poor, our defence has been really poor this year. Whether it's Haaland in the last game missing a big chances up top. It's just, I don't know, it's just been a bit of a weird season. But
defensively though, LB as well, man. Like you've actually I don't know how much you played for Guardiola, but it was a lot of money, and everyone went, "Oh wow, that's them." Now you conceded another goal, Man City. Like it's got worse your defense this season for me. I mean, Kyle Walker hasn't been great at times. I think maybe he's coming to the decline as a footballer, but I'm not just going to blame him. I think you've actually conceded some goals that I'm not used to Man City conceding. If you get me, bro. I don't know what you think, mate.
Well, bro, our defense has been really disappointing. I keep saying this, yeah, and people can laugh, but at the start of the season, I had my eye on that 15-goal Chelsea record. I didn't think we'd beat it, but I thought we'd get close. And people say, why? Why? Because we just put 4 past Real Madrid without response. We put 3 at home to Bayern Munich without response. We beat Inter Milan 1-0 in the final. Just signed Gavardi. I thought, you know what? We could get pretty close to that 50. It's just not been that way at all. We've been letting in cheap goals. Kyle Walker's been well off the pace. He starts having a couple of good games and then he played pretty poorly against Chelsea defending for the goal. It's just been a weird season. The only thing that I'm doing, I trust that this team and this manager is going to sort it out. I believe that they will. But we're in that situation now where we ain't got that insurance policy no more. We had the insurance policy with the game in hand, yeah, but we wasn't meant to use that against Chelsea. That was meant to be against Liverpool or Arsenal. You know what I mean? Because you could draw against Liverpool, or if you beat Liverpool, you can draw against Arsenal. It's fine. You're still top of the league. You've now no longer got that, which is disappointing. And like I say, every game now is just really difficult. We're playing Brentford tonight, who defended horrifically against Liverpool at the weekend. I thought the defence was absolutely shocking. Let's see if City can, try and expose that. But it's just pressure, man. It's just pressure. And we're running out of time. No team can can afford to drop points, man.
I think it's weird lies that surround. Like, I put the tweet out for this, and I asked a question like, "Are City off the boil?" And of course, I'm talking about City by City standards. And I get this is not the first person who's tweeted City fan that's tweeted me this. Terry, why are you criticizing City? We're currently 25 games unbeaten in all competitions. Well, even if we include the World Club Championship, you got beaten 16 games ago by Villa, and in that period, have also dropped points at home twice to mid-table Premier League teams. To not ask questions about Man City is ridiculous. And I don't know where this unbeaten in 25 games in all competitions, like where that lie has kind of stemmed from. Like, again, it's not me having a dig at City. I think you're a fantastic team. You're still my favourites. But it's almost, I saw Gary Neville do it at the weekend, where he barely touched on the fact that there are some vulnerabilities with City this year. And it doesn't mean you're writing them off and saying they're rubbish to talk about it. But I think if City fans are just burying their head in the sand, I think they're deluding themselves. It's going to be a really close title race this year. There's two other very good teams that are pushing you, and there's a few little things that are wrong with City. And I think those few little things that are wrong, that is the door being open. The door is ajar for Liverpool and City. And I still, as I say, Liverpool and Arsenal, I still think City are favourites. But it's just some of the very strange lies that people like City fans are telling me we're unbeaten in 25 games. You're not. I mean, you only lost one in that series, but
25 with Rodri, apparently.
But that's irrelevant. It's irrelevant.
I'm just telling you what people are saying in the chat. Apparently, it's 25. When Rodri's played, we've not lost a game in 25 matches.
Oh, so yeah, again. So what happens is someone puts that stat out, and then what people start doing is they start dropping the Rodri bit, and then the myth becomes reality. No, and again, it's fair. You haven't, but I mean you're saying a one-man team. I don't know. It's crazy to me. But
well, it's funny actually because Pep Guardiola called Tottenham the Harry Kane team a few years ago, and I wouldn't go so far as to say we're the Rodri team, but we are very, very, very reliant on Rodri. I think the biggest mistake Man City done in the summer was not getting someone who could play in that DM position, and I just can't, for the life of me, understand why they didn't do that. Because Calvin Phillips was never, ever, ever, ever going to work. Yeah, never. I didn't even want him, man, when we signed him. I never thought he was a good player anyway, or good enough for Manchester City, should I say. And, we brought in Kovacic, was a good signing, but I don't think he can play six on his own. He might be able to wing it maybe, but I think, you got to try and get a proper six. And, I don't know why we didn't do that. Obviously, there's rumours coming out that we're in for Kimmich in the summer. If that happens, mate, I'll be absolutely over the moon if that happens. But, we definitely need someone.
It's not quality image, but I do think the Gundogan one, man, that is a miss. Like, I don't know, Nunez, all right, so, like average player, and Kovacic. I don't know why we're not seeing more of him. Maybe you just don't fancy him, Pep. But
he had an injury, to be fair. He had an injury.
Okay, but not Gundogan for me. That's a big loss, man. I thought he was so good for you, and I was surprised that you didn't try your utmost to get him, man. Obviously, he had his heart, I guess, set on Barcelona, but
he didn't have it. This is the thing, though, Dan. This is the biggest mistake our board have probably made at this football club since they've been here, or one of them, because he didn't. He wanted a 3-year contract or a 2-year contract, and City weren't prepared to give it him. So he said, "All right, no problem. I'll leave. I'll go to Barcelona." Then when they realised that they didn't get Jude Bellingham because Jude Bellingham rejected us and decided he wanted to go to Real Madrid, he went going back to Gundogan and said, "Oh, sorry, you know what I mean?" Like the in-betweeners thing. Sorry, and said, "Oh, we'll give you what you want." And he said, "Nah." He said, "I've already gone." And then we got Kovacic in, 25 million. I think that's a good piece of business. Nunez was obviously a panic buy. I think Nunez is a good player. I just don't think he suits our style. It was a panic buy. But I actually like him. I don't think he's a good player. I think for Liverpool, in their style, I think he'd be a very good player. I just don't think he suits that sort of passing style,
Yeah, man. There's just been some changes, haven't there? And I still think City will win the league, and I still don't think you should be panicking. I'm not quite sure about the Alvarez thing. That's a bit of a weird one for me. I don't know if that's working. Julian Alvarez is. I thought, is he a 10 there now or something? Or I don't know what he's trying to do there, Pep. But that to me is, I think it started to work, and I thought, okay, that's quite interesting. I think it's got a bit stale, LB. I don't know about you. Maybe it hasn't. Maybe Alvarez is boring.
Alvarez is a great player, but he's not a midfielder. Yeah, and in 90% of the games, it'll probably work because you'll win anyway. Yeah, you'll probably win anyway. But when you're against the better teams, I just don't think you've got enough there for him. Yeah, but I think he's one of the reasons I think he's playing so much Alvarez is because if you don't play him, he'll leave. Alvarez will leave because the striker market is so dead. Yeah, the striker market is so dead that if he's not playing, a top team will come in for him, and City will get good money. We only paid 15 million for him. We'll make 4 or 5 times our money on him. But you know, the question that you got to you know, there's always this rumor about, oh, will Haaland eventually go Real Madrid? This is why I'm buzzing if Mbappe goes there, because obviously that probably makes it less likely. But City probably don't want to lose Alvarez, and then next year maybe Haaland's like, right, you know what, I want to go Real Madrid, and then you've had 2 of the best strikers in your team in the world at once, and then suddenly they've all gone. So yeah, listen, no, I trust Pep to sort it out. I think we'll be fine. I think we'll still win the league, but the pressure's on. We can't afford to drop any more points now. Simple as.
Yeah, and again, actually, you only lost 1 in the lot since that Villa game. But as you say, those draws, especially Palace being 2-0 up and collapsing, I think dropping points to Chelsea, as much as Chelsea fans will take this as being disrespectful, I think dropping points to Chelsea this season at home is damning. They're not Chelsea of old. They're not part of the top 6 right now in terms of they're not challenging for it. They're nowhere near the Champions League. They're inconsistent. So I think dropping points to them at home is, I mean, you drop points to them twice this season, actually, when you think about the 4-4 as well, which you wouldn't have all the teams in the traditional top 6 to drop points home and away to Chelsea this year. Nobody would have put money on that being City. It would have probably been Man United, maybe Spurs, but definitely not Man City doing it in both. So it's going to be interesting, as you say, tonight's game. It is must win, and you will probably win. But it's just this is the 3 points in hand. You suddenly have a crazy result tonight and draw again, for instance. Suddenly, then there's a big advantage for Liverpool in this title race. Being top, that will give them like a 3-point advantage. No game in hand. You've still got to go to Anfield. I guess why I kind of want City dropping points now, just because I think the more points City drop at this stage, the more exciting the title race is. If City end up 3 or 4 points clear, I don't think anybody will catch them, if that makes sense. I almost feel like,
I agree. Yeah,
I think you guys need to be behind slightly.